Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today's lesson is going to be focused on our English language paper 2, section B, and we're going to be practicing our viewpoint writing. Firstly, let's take a look at the following three statements, and what I need you to do is just decide whether you agree or disagree with them. So statement A, mobile phones are a great learning resource and should be used in lessons to further student learning. Agree or disagree? Statement B, approximately 100 million animals die each year due to companies testing new products and medicines on them. Testing on animals should be banned completely. Do you agree or disagree? And last one, school uniform encourages a sense of pride in students for their school. It also helps with discipline. It is an essential part of the school education system in England. Do you agree or disagree? Now you've come up with your reactions, I'd like you to think of reasons for and against each of these statements. Pause the video to allow yourself time to do that before continuing on. Now, attached to our Google Classroom, you will find a Word document which contains a template of this table. The statement we're going to be responding to is statement C, which is school uniform encourages a sense of pride in students for their school. It also helps with discipline. It's an essential part of the school education system in England. And of course, you will need to decide whether you agree or disagree with this statement. I'm choosing to agree with this statement, so I need to populate my column with the reasons for completely. But I also need to be able to come up with 2 or 3 ideas why people might be against this statement. So remember, whichever column filled up the quickest is the one that you should be basing your viewpoint writing around. At the end of the day, we're saying we're only going to have 5 minutes to plan our written response for this section of our paper. So we want to be going with the column that filled up the quickest. So whichever one filled up the quickest, base your response around. Put a ring around it to make sure that you stick with that viewpoint from beginning to end, and anything that's in the other column will become part of our rebuttal, our undermined counter argument. So the next thing to do is add any further good ideas to the column that you've circled, and remember you'll need at least 4 but ideally 6 really good ideas in that column. Then take a look at those ideas and prioritize them. Okay, so number them 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So number 1 will be your best idea, number 6 perhaps your weaker idea. Also choose your 2 best points from your counter argument column. You can cross through the others should you so wish, but just make sure you can still read them in case you do change your mind. And make sure when you are writing your response that you split your counter arguments up. So remember, when you're writing your response, you always want to get off to a really strong start and support your argument with evidence. So you want to leave your first counter argument to perhaps halfway or so through your response, and the second counter argument maybe 2/3 of the way through. But we always want to finish on a really, really strong point. So where you've numbered your ideas from 1 to 6, make sure that maybe you've started with your strongest, but you maybe finish with your second best idea as well. So now it's time to start writing our response. And your task is going to be to write a letter to your school principal expressing your viewpoint. And I'd like you to allow yourself approximately 35 minutes to complete this response. Remember who your target audience is. It is the principal of your school. So therefore your writing, the language that you use will need to be formal throughout, and make sure you set your response out as a letter. Avoid using any colloquial terms and language that's informal. Once you've completed writing your letter, I'd then like you to spend a good 5 minutes going through it and making any necessary corrections. And now I'd like you to review your work again and give yourself a what went well and an even better if. So work your way through your letter, highlighting any of the features that you have already demonstrated, and base your even better if improvement task against any of the features which aren't currently present. And then apply one or two of those features to a section of your work. When you've done all of that, then please upload your work to our Google Classroom. Do take care, everybody, stay safe and well, and hopefully see you soon.